Hey Taurus, and welcome to your December 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys another amazing reading for your month ahead. And December for you guys is kind of I want to say it's confusing, or it's a lot of polarities, or a lot of, I feel this way, but other people are telling me I feel that way, so maybe I should feel that way. It's going to be a month where you don't want to rely too much on the input of other people, and where you ultimately have to come to a conclusion yourself, where you ultimately have to decide like how you want to feel versus like how people think you should feel, because it feels like you guys are letting other people's opinions form you, or other people's ideals, other people's wisdom be your wisdom. You're very like chameleon this month, or you're very much empathetic and a sponge, and like absorbing other people's emotions, absorbing other people's thoughts and opinions and creative desires of life. So December's really coming in for you guys, I feel, to form that within yourself and to form your own wants and your own ambitions, desires, and goals. To really detach from what people like outside of your family or outside of who you hold dear, and even them to an extent, to just detach from what other people want for you. There is a really big lack in your energy this month, Taurus, of self-awareness. Not coming from you, but coming from people around you. There's a lot of people around you who don't get it, or who don't really understand you or what you want, but they're very good at understanding what they want, and they think that everyone should want what they want. So beware of that. It feels like maybe you know who you can trust and who you can't trust by now. November should have taught that for you very strongly. It feels like November taught you who you can trade with or who you can sell to, but emotionally that might not be quite as accurate yet. Maybe December is sort of teaching you who you can trust at a more emotional level, because you should have learned something very strong about like business mentality or what you want out of career in November, and in December it's like that's starting to mirror out to the other sectors of your life. Or maybe through having learned that lesson, you start to get more about who is actually present in your life at an emotional level. So you guys have Five of Swords, Seven of Cups, Page of Swords, Justice reversed. A lot of cards in your reading which deal with other people and deal with other people really wanting to have an effect on you, and other people really wanting to hear that you think that they're great, and other people really wanting for you to experience them in a nice way, by sort of looking like they're out for your interests, or sort of looking like they're working with you or for you, or wanting to be a part of your company when it's like they want to run the company type of thing. And that can come from all sectors in some way. Ultimately, you're going to get a really wonderful experience out of December, perhaps reuniting with an old like lost lover, or an old lost experience. It's not so good to be like with old lost lovers, but it's good to reunite something within you that you feel like you lost. It's not great to be with old people or with old experiences, although for a select few of you it can work. But definitely finding what feels right within you about the past, or about where you've been or what you've done, is very powerful this month. But you have to realize how powerful you are. Power is a big word. When I said that, like I got chills, like my hands sort of became weak. And I feel like there's this solar plexus energy, like for a lot of people right now that I've been working with, a lot of people in general are having solar plexus repression. But I said power, I said powerful, and honestly, like my vision became a little bit weird. My hands became weak, and I was like, whoa, I became like overtaken. Hard part about being a tarot person, or just an energy worker, a channel in general. Oh my gosh. So what I feel is happening here is that you're so strong and you don't know it. You think that you're weak, or you think that you can't do something. You think, oh, I can only make $30,000 this year, but that's more than I've ever made before. So it's not decreasing, but at the same time, how can I live on that? And so you guys are really struggling with like what you can do as a person, and spending a lot of your energy perhaps on worrying, or falsely congratulating yourself or other people, spending a lot of energy on other people, though I feel like you are being so pulled in like 19 different directions. You're more involved with people, Taurus, I think, than any other zodiac sign, which is not how it really should be, but it's understandable given that Jupiter has come into Scorpio and is opposing you. So it's really showing you like, okay, there are these people in your life, there are these experiences. For you Taurus rising people specifically, this would be coming into your 7th house, which deals with relationships and other people and what you throw away in life, the descendant. So experiences that have to do with energy that you're putting out towards other people, and how that has ultimately been your demise, how you've maybe chosen the wrong people, how the wrong people chose you, and how ultimately through Jupiter and Scorpio you're going to make it right, because that's what Jupiter and Scorpio injects into you, perhaps through all this power and this, like, I feel like shaking of hands, or weakness in the limbs or something, which makes you feel like you don't have enough power or ability, when in reality it's just like the surge and strength of what that actually is, becomes something really, really potent for you guys. As you guys feel more energized, to me, honestly, than any other sign, Scorpio will get there eventually. Leo and Aquarius will get there eventually, but it's like you guys already have it. You guys already have it. I'm getting chills, and I just feel like really overtaken by your energy. So enough about me. There is a need for you, Taurus, and to take anything away from this reading, it is this: to realize how much power you give away to people when you think you've taken it, or when you think that you've gotten it from them. You guys have ended a lot of relationships. You guys have really made yourself clear in a lot of way, most of you, and I'll talk about the other side of it here in a minute, but most of you have made it very clear who can be in your life and who shouldn't be in your life. A lot of you have like blocked people. A lot of you have said, okay, I never loved that person. A lot of you have said, that person never deserved me and I was the victim, which some of you indeed were. And a lot of you have said, I victimized somebody, I abused somebody, get them out of my life, I should be better. There's a lot of sides of like defining things and saying how things were, concluding on things. And I would like to emphasize for you, Taurus, how much power you give to quote unquote like villains or bad people of your life when you push them out. You're a Venus sign, Taurus. You're very enjoyed by other people. People want to be around you. People want to be in your presence. And sometimes if you're not very self-aware, you can use this to hurt other people, or you can use this as like your power, because your power as a zodiac sign is really your presence and who you allow in to your life. You share this slightly with Scorpio, but for you it's more, I want to say, like easy for people to want to be with you than it is Scorpio, because people kind of realize that Scorpio is dangerous and at the same time don't want to be with them. But again, Scorpio has this power as well. It's like their presence is very powerful. But for you guys, it's not so controversial, and it's not so like, it's scary. Like everybody just wants to be around you. So if you have the breakup or you have the difficult experience and you like block somebody out of your life, it's very hard for them, and they come into experience with like the death drive within themselves. They may have like suicidal tendencies, or they may want to throw everything away, but through that you give them so much power. And sometimes you can see people who you've like removed out of your life become very successful, very famous, very wealthy, and when you sort of lose everything. Why does this happen? This is hard for you, Taurus, to see yourself lose everything when you think you've done the right thing and you've pushed someone else out and they've sort of put you through a difficult situation, and then you start to see them perhaps do more than you ever have. So that's hard, and you're going to, through this cycle of Jupiter, not take that back, because taking that back is not something that you want to do, because it becomes tainted, or it becomes about the other person, because you've sort of given it to them, they put their energy on it. But you're going to learn how to cut ties without energizing and sacrificing yourself so much. Some of you may have made decisions that sacrificed in order to end. Sacrifices and endings should never really merge together. I feel like more so you sacrifice when you want to falsely continue something. An ending shouldn't feel like a sacrifice. It should feel like a victory. And a lot of you may have sort of tricked yourself or like eluded yourself, like, okay, I'm going to end this relationship, I'm going to end this experience, and it's going to be this big victory for me as my voice goes away. So a lot of you have like lost your voice, or have lost like a control, or lost a experience. It's always like a sign from the universe that I need to like talk about the other thing too. So you guys get it. You understand what I'm saying. Don't give your power away by thinking that you're taking it. The other side that I'm feeling for you guys for December deals with your accomplishments and deals with what you want to achieve and what you want to be. Don't let other people determine that. Don't let other people determine who you are and what you can be, because that's a big danger for you right now. And I feel like almost a more prickling sensation in that than what I was just talking about. Scorpio struggles with this right now too, in the sense that maybe you never wanted to be the CEO before that person put you through a difficult situation, and maybe just to be on top you want to be successful so that they regret themselves. Beware of this. This is coming from that Jupiter and Scorpio energy, because there's like a revenge in that, or there's a wrath that you sort of get to savor through that. Watch out for savoring tastes of life, or quenching your palate, because this is a very Venus Taurus type of thing, quenching your palate through the pain of others. Beware, Taurus, none of that. Because what you will do is you will set yourself up for a cycle where everybody wants to hurt you and everybody wants to enjoy it. You've already kind of been there a little bit since Saturn and Scorpio. Saturn and Scorpio through 2014 and 15 probably saw you become somebody else's savoring experience of pain in someone else. Maybe you were in a relationship where somebody was quite destructive or quite mean, and I feel that they're very sorry. People are very sorry for what they did to you. People are quite sorry, but you kind of did it too, and you kind of enjoyed the pain. I feel a very masochistic thing which came through for a short period of time. It's like it was a phase, or it was a short-lived thing, but it's generated a lot. It's generated a lot of power, but power for the other person, surprisingly enough. And you wouldn't think it to be that way. You would think maybe that you would be victimized by somebody and then you would get power because that would be a karmic thing. But when you create a certain energetic atmosphere that is so nice and so well receiving of that, it's like you have to sort of see both sides, and not to keep pushing that, but you guys have to, it's like people that you've dealt with who you think are not so great have been very empowered and very and becoming more powerful by the day, with each passing day that you can't really confront things, because some of you need to confront something, not everyone, and I'm going to try to talk about all sides of it, but some of you need to confront someone or to rein things in, I feel like, and also be honest with yourself, being honest with yourself about what actually happened. If you fool yourself and you think, oh, I never loved that person because it's no longer convenient for me to love that person, or, that person never really could have done what they said they would because I can't accept that they could do that. Anything like that makes their power grow by the day, exponentially. Your life power just completely funnels over to them when your ego plays in this way. And Leo is also really struggling with this, I've noticed. And I hope that I've made it clear enough in their reading, because I'm realizing, I heard Leo. So for those of you dealing with a Leo, that could be validation that maybe you just need to, this is it, Taurus. You need to define what cutting a tie actually is. Cutting an emotional relationship tie with somebody is not cutting off your presence to them while convincing yourself by the day that you never loved them. It's cutting the tie, it's removing everything. So if you stay really hooked into somebody, it just really empowers them while taking your power away. And I'm really feeling that from that first week energy, to get into the week by week, 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords, rooting that down. That's really generating all of that. And, we're sort of going into the ending phase of the year, taking stock of where you've been. So the first week of that has to do with what I've basically talked about this whole entire time. More obviously, who's taken advantage of your aspirations or your goals and desires? Who has cheated that, or who has said, I can give that to you, but never really did? It's good to relocate from that and to not push it. I wouldn't try to hold people accountable who haven't been able to live up to your standards, just because it's they'll never be able to do it, and it's more energy for you to understand that. It's more energy for you to deal with that, because you guys get so much. You have to understand how much you get over the next year, and it's amazing, and I don't want to see you guys squander that on these old people, or these people who've promised you something under Saturn guys to the disguise of Saturn, when it's not really that, and now that you know that they just can't do it, get out of it. Watch out for casual things too. I feel 5 of Swords always deals with casual affairs and with people who seem to not need that much from you, but in reality take a lot. It would be good to be abstinent this month, honestly, unless you're in a long relationship or something. I wouldn't be around a lot of other people having sexual encounters with other people who you can't trust, because transmitted diseases are very easy right now with Jupiter and Scorpio. There will be probably a really strong rise in really gross diseases, or new ones to come about. That's just a collective mundane thing. It doesn't really have to do with you, but obviously for everybody, it's kind of important to know who you're with during this time. So definitely watch out for those types of things. In the second week, you have Queen of Pentacles, rooted down by Queen of Wands. Good to have solid female friends or female figures who might be a little bit different than who you've been around in the past, that that you can trust, that doesn't really have anything to do with old relationships falling through. It would be nice to see you surrounding yourself with the right people in that sense. Also, you can repair things with those types of people here now. it feels like you need like good nurturing, and you can also be very nurturing for you. And I don't usually see it this way, but I feel like female Taurus will be very nurturing to other people, and you will get a lot through helping somebody through a crisis, or through being the one who saved somebody, or being the one who was there. And I feel that male Tauruses need to construct relationships with these types of people, or needs to finally say, look, I've missed you, I've needed you in my life for a long time, I'm sorry that I was this way, or not. It's not a good time for apologizing, really, but it's a better time to be like, I need. Let yourself need something, male Taurus. Allow yourself to need, because sometimes masculine Taurus energy never can really be honest about what their needs are. So really become honest with what your needs can be. Also just integrating the more eccentric part of your personality with the more authentic one. I feel like maybe some of you are feeling fake, or feeling like you're like wearing a mask, or you're like more optimistic than you naturally would be. So definitely work with allowing your eccentricity to become authentic. It's a wonderful time to travel. It's a wonderful time to see new surroundings. You guys will get a lot from that. And moving into the third week with Justice reversed, you're down by Page of Wands reversed. You guys have had the similar energy for a while. I think I've noticed those cards in your readings a lot. So like you could have a fling, or you could have a experience with somebody from your past. Somebody that maybe you met in like December of last year. I'm hearing December or even January of 2016 and 17. Somebody during that time that was around could come back in, or any really strong change that you made in your life during that time could reemerge as another possibility. Don't concern yourself too much with fairness, because it feels really egoic. Just do what feels like the right thing, but not the fair thing. That's hard to explain, because I feel like that's not quite articulating it in the way that it needs to be. But Justice reverse is always a symbol that maybe what's fair isn't happening, or maybe you're too concerned with what's fair, or that the ego is determining what's fair, and it's not a matter of what's fair, it's what's good for me. Watch out for me. Me is wonderful, Taurus, but the me through the you is really good too. I should turn that into like a poem or something, but if that makes sense, me is good when it's detached from the ego. When you're thinking about what makes my body feel good, what makes this feel intuitive, what makes this feel real, that's wonderful. When you're sort of talking about like what makes me look good, or what makes me appear wonderful through the guise or through the eyes of other people, not so good. And with that being rooted down by Page of Wands reverse, this can be a male like Sagittarius, Aries, Leo energy, masculine energy there, who has fallen out of favor with you. Things may not be able to be fair with that. Maybe you wanted to be married to this person, or maybe you wanted to divorce this person, something that has to do with justice or legal actions. Some of you could be in legal battles with these types of people, or these people have like caught on to something, or they're trying to borrow money from you, or telling you that you owe them money. If you owe the money, I would pay it. It's a really good time to pay things, by the way, just as a collective insight. With Saturn moving into Capricorn during that week, actually, on the 20th of December, it's a really wonderful time to pay out, erase debts. If you have a bit of money here, put it towards the debts, or put it towards something which you could pay off, but maybe you would think, no, I'm just going to save that, or I'm going to buy myself a new car, all those types of things that Taurus like. It's wonderful to pay things off, because you really, really benefit from it in the future. So if you actually owe somebody money, if you pay it here, it feels like it really goes a long way. But if you're not owing somebody something, I would definitely look at how you're investing yourself with a lot of different people. Are you being promiscuous? Are you being even promiscuous, not in a physical way, but perhaps in like a money type of way or something? Like, how are you really scattering yourself out? Because people can come into your life and say, you owe me something. If you're really throwing your energy out and about, like, people will cling on to it, not necessarily who you always want to. Fourth week, Ace of Wands, you're down by Page of Swords. You can do the creative project here. Write the song, write the book, write something, like, because Page of Swords is about writing and about words, so something that has to do with words, or PR, or social media projects that really hone in on your creativity are wonderful. I'm happy to see you guys maybe doing something for yourself instead of concerning other people. You might start your own business here, or you might start to put that together. It would also be nice to see you connect this to like September or October, something that you've done then. It's not the newest thing. It feels like something that you've wanted to do for a long time, or something that you've wanted to accomplish for a long time. So really do yourself a solid and allow yourself to start doing those things. It feels like masculine air sign energy can be very helpful in that process. And I will say, Taurus, the people that crop up here could be marriage potentials, or potentials to have children with. You're very fertile for like female and male Taurus. Like your life energy will birth new things. So that might be another reason to not be so promiscuous, or another reason to not be so extended, because you can easily have children here. At the same time, you can easily birth new businesses, or new projects, or new degrees, or anything really that you've wanted to do for a long time is very easy. If you can be less extended, or you can be like paid off in many different ways, and like really expand your mind, like take on like a Sagittarian principle, like in what way can I pay things off? It might not even be a bill, it might not be a debt, but perhaps is there somebody that I've not explained who is important to me? How or what happened? Is that, in a way, can I pay that off? Can I tell somebody how things were? Can I give somebody something that they need from me, even if that's just acknowledgement or presence? Because if you don't, it's like you have so much energy and you're so powerful and strong. It's like, why wouldn't you? You know? So working with that is good, but also not needing to do that too. Like, it's really hard to explain and articulate this balance between like you should, but at the same time you don't need to. Or you don't like need to, if you know what I mean. It shouldn't be like this ambitious, like heart thrusting experience. It should be more like a casual thing that gives you back your power. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's a beautiful month for you guys in the sense that you will realize and define and understand what's inhibiting you. And you'll also be able to have enough to start what you've always needed to start. So endings, beginnings, all very emphasized. I hope this reading resonated for you guys. It was a lot for me. It was very, it opened my eyes to certain things, and it also made me feel strong. And I feel like you guys can make a lot of people feel strong, but make yourself feel strong first. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can click the center of your screen. I really wish you guys would subscribe to me. It would be a wonderful Christmas gift. You can always unsubscribe if you're not interested. And you can check out your Sun, Moon, Rising sign in the playlist. I will be talking to you guys in January. Much love. Lots of changes soon. Bye.